Hello everybody and welcome back to another Vintage Thursday. So in the ploughing video I said keep your eye out for Vintage Thursday because we were going to be doing the drilling the wheat. You can probably hear behind. Here we are, here's our little outfit. We've got the 550 and we have got the 30 drill. So in the last couple of years we've been drilling with the 178. This year we're using the 550. So we are now where we are today. We are drilling the third field of the three that we ploughed out of grass. We've got one more field to go at home. The fodder beet, where the fodder beet was last year. That is ploughed. It's getting power harrowed today. We'll probably drill it tomorrow because it's going to take a day to get enough moisture just dried off the top so we can go. So this is going to be kind of like a 2-day video drilling across two different fields. So it is the 31st of March today. It is an enormously cold wind, but we got a bit of sunshine, so we're gonna get on. Yesterday I drilled kind of half that field. I didn't get going till it was gone to 2 o'clock time I got going because we were doing other stuff in the morning. So I brought a hopper full of seed up. We finished that field and we've done 4 times around the headland on this field. And so this is where we've got to. So done that to the hedge. And then we've got to do finish the headland and then up and down. This field is a bit of an awkward field. It's like a giant banana. So the long hedge runs there. That is probably you can't really see it on the camera because you're looking at the sun. So this hedge along here is the longest side of the field, and it is just one continuous curve top to bottom. So there is not a single straight line in this field. And so what we're going to do when we start the drill in the centre, we're just going to follow the curve, follow the hedge, otherwise we're just going to be wasting too much seed overlapping. And so just follow the curve and it'll work out alright. Slight drawback to this drilling cereals, we have no tram lining kit on it. So, you know, it's not a major problem, but it would be nice to have it, but we haven't, so we can't use it. Right, so like I said, we have done 4 times around the headland. I do 7 times round is enough because that tractor turns so tight on the ends, it's just out, spin round, back in again, so we don't need a massive headland. So better get on, I suppose. So I mentioned in the spraying video that our biggest challenge this year was going to be leather jackets. We did have a little dig around in the soil, and that was in the field over there, checking for them. We couldn't find any. I've now checked all 3 fields. We're into the final one now, and I've only found 1 leather jacket so far. Obviously I've not checked the whole field, you know, you can't do that, but usually if you can find them easily, you've got a problem. It took quite a while to find that one, and we did manage to come to an agreement between ourselves that he wasn't going to eat anymore, you know, so that worked out okay. Okay, so here's our seed bed. We've got plenty of moisture. We have had some rain last night, so hopefully it's going to go this morning. It is a little bit tacky, but it's good. There's a good breeze blowing, so hopefully we're going to be all right. So I mentioned it's a good seed bed, but as you can see, there's an awful lot of turf hanging around on top, which is not ideal, but it was the tricky conditions we were ploughing in, the sticky soil sticking on the moldboards of the plough and wouldn't turn over. But we have got a super seed bed just right, and there's an enormous amount of moisture there. Right. Bit of revs and set sail. So it's on the headland corners, we're at a 550. Right, we've had to stop. We have a problem. Oh, and it's windy. Okay, so here we have all the metering rollers, metering units that feed the seed from the hopper through the metering unit into the tube that then goes down to the coulter that is burying it in the soil. So as we come along, we see tube here is absolutely bung full. So that means we've got a block coulter down the bottom there. Fortunately, it's the end one. Should be reasonably easy to access. It's probably bunged up with a bit of grass. Okay, so this bit up in here is where the seed drops, and clearly it's not anymore. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. A few more. It would be easy if I could see what I was doing. Things are moving now. There we go. That might be a bit thick for drilling there. Right, we're all clear up in there now. Right, so what we'll do, we'll back up a little bit. Because if we put the coulters down there, because you've got to be moving when you put the coulters down, and then we're going to end up missing a bit. So we'll back up. That will then, in fact, the harrow will then tickle over these seeds we've dropped, bury most of them, and we'll keep an eye on this. Hopefully, once this tube straightens up, that should all drop out. Because now it's clear at the bottom now, so we'll just keep an eye on that. So we'll back up a little bit, and hopefully that's done the trick. That did the trick. We are now on the move again. I'm going to shut the window because it's a bit chilly. Right, so we have finished. We have made it to the other side of the field. So it wasn't too sticky. Although you can see where we drilled, first bit we drilled is now drying up on the top, and the rest of it where we've just kind of finished, still a bit damp. So the next thing to happen out here is roll the seed in. So that will do several things. So there is no stones in these fields, but if there was, it would push them in flat away from the combine, so that when you come to cut, it's nice and level. Rolling will help to get a good seed to soil contact onto the wheat seed, to make sure that the moisture can transfer across to the seed and get it going off to a fly-in start. And also rolling it down will help conserve the moisture in the soil. Like I did say, we had a little bit of rain overnight, but it could easily turn dry, and we need to preserve what moisture. There is a good bit of moisture in the soil, but we need to make sure that stays there, ready to be used by the seed. So the beauty of this little drill, there is no packing up to do. We don't have to fold anything up. I've literally pulled the coulters out of the ground and we can go. We will just jump out quickly though and do a seed check. just to see what's left and what we can put in for next time. So, lovely day, but still cold, still very windy. So the hopper, plenty left in there, but what we'll do, we will go and top up, ready for the next field. You take all three or not? So there you are, you've just seen we have refilled the drill. So the biggest drawback of this drill, being only, what is it, 2.5 metres wide, although interestingly, when they were selling these, they were sold as the number of rows they drilled. So this is a 13 row drill with wide spacings. They did a wide and a narrow. So this is a 13 row wide spacing drill. Anyway, yeah, it's the smallest one they did. And the problem with it nowadays is unless it's right empty, it will not take a full half-ton bag of seed. So we only ever, it was only on, when we drilled the first field, that was the only time we could get a full bag of seed in. Obviously you don't want to run the drill right out because otherwise you're missing bits. So we always got to leave a bit in the bottom of the hopper and then top up. So that is why we had those kind of bags with like 100 kilos left in. So we put all those in now, topped up with kind of the part bags, ready to go on again. So that is the only drawback to this drill, is that you cannot just pull up with a bag and dump it in. But they do have like a chute on the bottom you've seen, with a string round to tie it off. So it's not the end of the world, it's just a little bit annoying, but there we are, you know, it's what we've got to live with. So we are just approaching the field. And there's going to be something interesting I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so hopefully you can see there through the sun and the dusty windscreen. So we've got the 7614 on the power harrow. He's flying along because it's not taking a great deal to work this down. So this was the fodder beet field last year. And the interesting thing about that tractor there and the 550 we're sat in, they are both the smallest in the range. So the 550 was the baby of the 500 range, and the 7614 was the baby of the 7600 range. So there we go, bit of two babies in the field. Although if they were side by side, you certainly wouldn't call that one there a baby, would you? But he is the baby of the range. So as many of you know, the 30 drill to put the coulters in and out of work and engage the feed mechanism is hydraulically powered. There is a ram on the drill that pushes the coulters into work. So the 550 does have spool valves. That was one of the options on these. Unfortunately, these spool valves on this tractor, they don't work at the minute. There's something seized up in there. I haven't something seized up on the levers. They will only pull one way. Okay, so they won't go both ways. So that's something that needs investigating. But what we do have is a trailer tipping pipe. So that basically gives you a single acting service that is run from the linkage quadrant here. So what we've got to do, we have a diverter valve, and then on our quadrant we set our position control into the constant pumping, which is here on the lever, and then we put the drill in and out of work with the draft control lever. So if we put the draft into lift back here, that will pressurise the ram. Here is kind of a neutral position, and then down here we'll let the coulters out of work. So let's get back into the corner. So But one of the things with any drill, you mustn't put the coulters in the ground when you're stationary, otherwise that's when you get blockages. So we've got to be moving when we're operating the lever. Right, so we will pull forward, and as we're moving, push the coulters into pressure, and then return the lever into the neutral position, and that will then hold the lever, and that will then hold that ram at full pressure until we get to the end of the field or the corner as we're approaching now, and you just push it down into the lower, and that releases the pressure on the ram, and the coulters lift out of work. Very simple system. And now it's snowing. That's quite a snowstorm. We are about to get snowed off, I would think. Oh, the cows are going in. They didn't like the snow. They figured, yeah, we're not staying out in this. Well, we survived the snow, but we had a little shower of rain as well. Just see the rain on the window. Anyway, it is what it is. So we have now come to milking time. So I reckon we're going to pack up for today and come back tomorrow. So hopefully we shall have another sunny day, and maybe a bit less wind and a little bit warmer, but we'll see. Right, so we are now back next day, just finishing off the headland. As you can see behind, it is another lovely, beautiful, sunny day, but it's still cold and it's still windy. So there we go, that is it. We are finished. So we'll just quickly jump out, do a check of what seed we've got left. So we have covered about 33 acres and we had 2.5 tons of seed. Let's go and see what was left. It is a bit breezy out still, so let's see how we get on. So we do, on the drill, we do have an area meter here. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked at all since day one. So that the counter got up to, so that the figures on the counter don't actually mean any acres, and we have to read them off the chart to tell us, because there's different numbered teeth on some gears. So it got up to number 34 on the counter when we first started drilling, and that was less than an acre. I did tweak it a little bit up to 55, and it's still on 55 now. So that area meter seems to have gone on strike. It used to work, but not anymore. So let's see what seed we've got. Not a lot left. So there isn't a great deal left in there, and that's about right, I would have said. Obviously we don't want to be running out, and we don't want to have a tank full left, so seems to be pretty accurate. So our little drilling rig, cheap to buy, cheap to run, very low fuel costs on the little 3-cylinder engine, and great fun as well. You know, I've had a really enjoyable few days on this. It's not the biggest drill, it's not the biggest output, but that's what we've got. We have had one little breakdown. So if you see over there's a spring that pulls the cover and harrow out. The one this side actually snapped off, so we've got to source another spring for next time. It doesn't seem to be affecting it. It's still working all right. I think it's just kind of it's a counterbalance to help pull that the following harrow up. Although got the two big springs here that pull the coulters out, so it probably doesn't really need it, but it was obviously there for a reason. So like I said, perfect little tractor for this, for the little drill. Only one thing that we could, or would be nice to improve it, would be a set of dual wheels. So it does have the clamps welded on the wheels for a set of Peterson dual wheels. Let's try and find that. There was a set sold in an auction last week that I watched online. Big collection up in Hereford. It was dispersed. There was actually a set of wheels, 32-inch Peterson dual wheels, that would have fitted on here beautifully, but obviously I wasn't there, and they made like a few pounds, next to nothing. So if anybody has a set in the corner or in the hedge or in the back of their shed, a set of 32-inch Peterson dual wheels, we would be interested. You know, if you want, if they wanted to sell those, get in touch, because you know that would make a good little tractor, even better for this, by just spreading the weight over a wider area. So there we go, that is the end of our spring drilling, or spring wheat drilling. There is fodder beet still to go in a month's time or so. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.